What up? What it is? What it do? All right, wait a little bit. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces ceremony. How are y'all doing? Thank y'all for joining. This is going to be super magical for all the right reasons. Shout out to those of y'all in the live chat. Ooh, I'm with you, Christina Moon Vibes. This week was a long week so far. I'm a little bit low energy myself. We gonna do this. We gonna get this done. So what's good, Saturn's Hula Hoop? What's up, Belle? What's up, Princess? I'm glad the timing worked out well for a lot of you. I've appropriately called this the divine timeline shift because nothing will ever be the same. Shout out to Abby in the building. Shout out to T, shout out to Lexi, Pono. For those of you in the California area, hit me up this weekend. I'm doing an event with the Leo King. It's going down. Better know. Other than that, though, shout out to Diavolo. Shout out to Heidi, shout out to Infinite Soul Star. Thank you, Barty. I'm gonna hold off on the live chats until the next transit talk. I usually just dedicate ceremonies to ceremonies. But if you tune into my next transit talk or weekly live, I got you. Other than that, I hope you didn't think I was gonna do this ceremony without bringing along a special guest. Some of you may know her. Some of you are just about to know her. So get excited. She's personally a moon in Pisces. She has her moon in Pisces, so it's definitely going to be extra magical. And I definitely want you to hold in your mind's eye an intention. Shout out to Patty Cakes, Miss CC, Bobo. Drum roll! What it do, what it is.
Blessings from the Sun Soul Astrology hub, somewhere within the universe.
Somewhere indeed. Somewhere indeed. Oh, I just got drawn to grab this stone right here. What is this?
It's lapis lazuli. So for any of you who aren't familiar, I am Maru Matu, Sun Soul Astrology. Yes. And you all know the Peace Dealer.
What it do, what it is. Holler.
What it is.
Yeah, it's going down. Shout out to Nasia.
What's up, Nasia? This is our girl.
Yup. She's one of the few who's had readings when we did both of them together. So
we tag teamed her.
Yes, we did.
It was a threesome.
Oh, yes. Nothing was ever the same.
Oh.
Just like after this new moon. So, yeah.
Truth.
Not gonna lie. I'm just coming back in the plane from New Orleans. Shout out to those of you who were out there. Shout out to those of you who enjoyed this week. I didn't expect the vibes to shift as crazy as they did. So, very subtle, though. Very subtle.
Subtle like a bitch slap in your face. Shit. There's been a lot of things going on. That shift is like it hit the fan.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I can't put my finger on it, but I do have my finger on this.
It might be Uranus.
Ah, word. Okay.
Yeah, Venus is in Aquarius, so.
Wait a minute. Is Uranus in Taurus right now?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's 0 degrees.
Mercury's retrograde. This is ridiculous.
It is. What's up, Tiki Love? I see you, girl.
No wonder. I just felt this like very subtle sense of strength come over. Like, I feel like I have more, not control, but inner strength. So I hope I'm not the only one.
Mm-mm.
What's this?
Black tourmaline.
I love black tourmaline.
Yeah, I got a lot of black tourmaline chunks recently. Exactly where it needs to be.
Opening up the crowd.
It literally is. And before we started, I pulled up the transits, but it was just a little off at the moment. So where's the moon? The moon is at 22 degrees of Pisces right now. And the sun and Neptune are conjunct at 16. So that's some interesting times right there. Everything's melting. It's like a perma trip.
Definitely a good day to indulge or engage in psychedelics. Probably one of the peak days. Just be careful because you can get stuck in a rabbit hole. Well, also you get stuck, but you cannot never come back again. But why would you want to come back? You got to keep going. It is what it is.
It is what it is, but fuck microdosing.
Yes. Yes. True that. Sometimes you also got to go hard, go big. So.
Yes.
Other than that, though, yes, I heard that Vesta is exactly on Neptune. So that means it's on the sun, too.
Damn.
Shout out to Aphrodite. Let me know. I heard that Vesta is the sacred flame keeper. So I'm just going to say it's going to be extra magical and spiritual. I think we're rededicating our lives to spirituality. When I was out there yesterday, I ran into because there are some people who were like witnessing people in the name of Christ and saying you need to love Jesus, but it was cool because Mardi Gras, I saw Jesus Christ, the dude who does the I don't know if you've seen that video where this dude went viral for praising Jesus and he broke dance and I saw him out there. It was awesome. For those of you who saw my Instagram, you've seen it. And then right after, two people came up to me and they asked me if I wanted to rededicate my life to Christ. And they prayed over me and I repeated after them. So, I just saw that as like taking my spirituality more seriously than I have. Ooh, what's this?
Kyanite.
Kyanite with a K?
Yeah. It aligns all of your 7 chakras. I got my kyanite ring with my moldavite ring.
Wow.
So it's definitely an ascension situation happening right here.
She got the stones, y'all. She got these stones. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Marvel Girl from my tribe. Always gifting me with some dope shit.
That's what's up.
Literally. And this I'm more interested in diving into. It's like a black cube of destiny.
Wow.
Yeah. For all of you guys who know, this is like outside of Rockefeller Center and Trump Towers, like everyone who's trying to harness our souls.
So there's some Masonic lodges that probably have this too, huh?
Oh, yes, sir.
Wow, it's dense.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is. It's like the Tesseract Cube.
Yeah. The Tesseract. That's amazing.
For real.
Yes. Yes, I just came back to Vegas from New Orleans. You goddamn right, Starhawk. Like I promised, after this new moon in Pisces, I'm cutting down on the smoking. Doesn't mean I'm quitting for good, but cutting down on it, not going to smoke every day, replacing it with meditation and working out. I started working out, by the way. My body's been sore all week. Oh, my God. But
yeah,
feeling those endorphins. That's what's up.
That is what's up. I hear you say that all the time. But every time you kick it, I'm like, you sure you want me to bring some? Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yes. If you see me and you want to offer me some, I will not say that. But yeah, I'm just not going to buy it myself anymore.
Got that New Orleans growl in there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you get possessed?
You know what's crazy? My homegirl that's out there, when this one dude came out there, she said that he got possessed while she was out there. Mm-hmm. I don't think I got possessed, but I did think I had a good time. But you know what? If I was, I didn't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I did. Because I feel different. I feel like I came out a portal out there. Like I didn't come back the same. But
Yeah, New Orleans is a bit crazy, but shit, this is a perfect night to do this experience for everybody. And yeah, so what's your vibe for this moon?
Honestly, I feel like the reset button has been hit. Like, it's in my 11th house, so I got to reconnect with some good friends like yourself as well. So they say it's the house of hopes and wishes and community. So even connecting with y'all, totally dope. Flights. Definitely interested in what this new cycle is gonna bring. I really feel like everything's coming together too. That's the vibe I get. Like more people are starting to recognize me and us rather, what we do. And it's humbling, but it's also exciting. I feel that Jupiter in Sagittarius. So it's like we get to step into who we were truly meant to be. I think everything up until now was to redirect our focus. Now it's like moving forward even more.
Go team, go. Yeah, this is happening in my 12th house. I'm a 29 degrees Pisces rising, so Mercury just flipped a bitch on top of my rising.
Ah, that's true.
I was like, it's ba-dumping my moon a couple of times, you know? Like if you guys are familiar with the ba-dump, it's whenever you just run something the fuck over and you just go ba-dump. And then instead you put it in reverse and you're like, and ba-dump. And then it's going to put it in drive and it's going to be like ba-dump again. So it's going to be some shit because my moon's at 27 degrees Pisces.
27, wow.
Yeah, my Mars is over there by, it's at 9 degrees almost of Pisces. So luckily Neptune has moved off of it some. But it's safe to say I've been transited AF in that department from Chiron and every situation that's happened in Pisces for a hot minute.
Situation, that's my new word now. I love it. That's awesome.
It is.
Oh, goodness. Honestly, like, I didn't even know what I was going to say. Like, I just felt like all the synchronicities and downloads that I have, they're gone. They're just like, we're doing something different now. Like, my spirit guides are getting switched out. It's weird. It's like, I guess because, okay, and that's what brings me to the divine timeline shift concept, because it's like, we're definitely stepping into a divine timeline where all your dreams can come true without you getting in your own way or you being as misunderstood, and people starting to embrace you because they embrace themselves, especially the parts of themselves that you reflect back to them that they don't like.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be dope.
Yeah, I've been tooting that horn big time. Because, like, think about timeline jumping and shifting, and then think about the sun and Neptune. Like, sun and Neptune already blurs lines and makes shit, like, mad confusing. But say, okay, we had a plan to do this, me and him. Don't talk for a couple days. Say, like, I'm in a different timeline where we never planned that shit. Maybe I don't even know him. And he's, like, all, like, we're going to do a ceremony, go live on YouTube, and then there's a whole other factor of, like, Piscean shit, and he hits me up. I'm like, who the fuck are you? And these are the timeline stuff that has actually been happening. So whenever we talk about like miscommunication from Mercury retrograde, who knows? Like there's a Mandela effect or CERN that's just like bombed on our reality of these timelines. So how do we even know that a person that we're arguing with is even in that timeline in which we used to exist in?
Yeah.
Because, like, you could just blink your eyes and you're somewhere different. Yeah. And that's what Pisces dreams show us, is that whenever we dream, we have no fucking clue that we're somewhere totally off in this make-believe world because it seems like it's our life. And then when we wake up, we get mind swiped of that life that we just lived in the dream world. So there's no real reality there either. And it's extra scary because we could get incepted so easy.
Inception is real. Inception is real.
It is.
I be getting pissed off when ideas and dreams get incepted. It's like the movie Focus, the movie Inception. Watch it if you haven't. I just incepted you right now, but still, it's oh god. Yeah. We don't come into this lifetime. Apparently, they say that this dimension is supposed to make us forget our other lifetimes and our other places. Damien D, for a quick second, I got grabbed somewhere else. I had to come. I got my swipe, but like, yeah. I think we're gonna really start to remember our other lineages. I think that's also with Uranus and Taurus what's gonna change the game, because similar to that like baby who was born, or that young kid allegedly who was born and was able to denote who killed him in a past life or whatever.
You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Thank you. I've been talking about this because there's earthbound beings, okay? And yeah, they usually look like themselves when they reincarnate, like almost pretty much just like for real. And they have like scars or birthmarks at the places in which they had whatever unfortunate set of circumstances lead to their demise.
Yeah.
But then there's like activated star seeds. And say if you have a really prominent placement at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, that's actually a Stargate portal where you do not turn over your past life memories.
Oh.
Yeah, you put them bitches in your back pocket and you brought them right here with you.
That's not Antares, right?
Antares, yeah.
That is Antares.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So also, if you have a tremendous amount of retrograde planets, that's also like you were holding on to those memories. But a lot of people that have those, they know so much that they don't have like this unit of measure that says like, oh, I'm super psychic and I remember my past incarnations. Like you just think things are normal whenever it's you. And so this is something to pay attention to if you have those things there, but also Antares is a beast. So it's something you gotta kind of manage and control.
You also gotta remember, some of you were born with your memories, but you probably don't remember in the formulative stages of your growth, where your parents might have been like, what is this kid saying? Like, what? And they probably didn't know how to understand it. And maybe out of protection, they just kind of made you dismiss it. So you probably never got to live this timeline, and you got shifted in another timeline. Well, now you're coming back.
Now you're coming back. And I just had a whole like light bulb moment go off about reoccurring dreams. Like those are most definitely the way that our past life memories would come through. And don't forget, like Pluto is super right in the South Node, or is it like South Node's riding Pluto? South Node is like totally dry humping Pluto right now.
Pluto's about to ba-dum over my moon. The South Node's in a 23 ba-dum. And it's like, stay strong, Moon in Capricorns. They cannot stop us. They want to drag Capricorns.
Well, at least most Capricorns know what emotions feel like. This is like his introduction to the fucking feels.
And I'm a progressed Moon in Cancer, so I have no choice but to feel right now. It's just
like, that's hilarious.
Hey, Miss Rafa Show. Hey, Christy, Aphrodite.
Never heard that question before.
I don't want to cry. I literally have like combos like, I'm not going to cry. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, I'm not these other people who, even though it's healthy and I acknowledge it, I'm just not going to do it until I do it.
Have you ever done it?
Not in a long time. I've been able. It's weird because sometimes, at rare times, I will want to cry, and then Saturn on my moon's like, no. Do you even have a reason? And it's like I have to force myself, and it's like, do you have a reason to cry? What? Because you feel bad? Get out of here! Like, it's like, what the hell? What the hell? It is what it is. So I don't. Yeah.
I don't got that problem.
Yeah.
I really don't. But that's one of the things. It's funny trying to explain him to other people, because he's kind of not human, but not human, not the extraterrestrial version of human too. He's like something very different.
Yeah, shout out to Maru. She was one of the ones she was one of the only people to recognize me before I could even recognize myself. Which, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you dearly.
It's all good. Archangel Michael sent me on a rescue mission. For however that shit that sounds, it really was real.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Momolu Dorley said, get to the point. You must not know how Pisces works. This is a beautiful sign. It's there. It's there. Oh, we're not going to get to any point tonight. We're just going to flow.
Mixed with Mercury retrograde. Man, that's exactly what it is. It's like when the sun and Neptune are conjunct, and also think about like the new moon. So the moon is your inner emotions and your inner world, and the sun is like how you see yourself illuminating into this world. So internal, external, micro, macro. And then Neptune, the great dissolver, is just like dissolved all of that to where it's the dream state, and it's literally taking away everything that you ever thought you were, or that you should be, or that you were going to be. And so this is like the smear campaign, it's like everything just dissolves into this big glob of nothingness, and perceptions open up, like intuitive psychic awareness just blends. So I'm not me and he's not him, and you're not you. We're all just like meshed into one piece at the moment. And that's what it's all about, because anything that happens right now is not actually happening from the outside. It's happening from inside of your subconscious, like the collective unconscious. So I could say whatever I want right now, and I'm literally going to like get into your subconscious and work my magic from there, because it's about magic. It's about mysticism. It's about spirit. So Pisces is after you've let go of physicality and identification, and your spirit floats out of your body. Yeah, and you rejoin with Source. So there is literally no more names, and there's no more chair underneath my butt. It's just like we're floating on this etheric cloud, but we're all connected through that energetic form. And damn, Mercury had to go retrograde right now.
At the end of the zodiac, I want to add to that, because like I've noticed a heavy theme of just like shedding old constructs, like the way we've come to figure out everything. Spirit's like, it's trash, like throw it away. Like, I know you think you need to hold on to it because of control. Like, you guys need to start reset, like learn to understand yourself not as the system of humanity was necessary, but now we need to drop our egos. And to answer someone's question, someone said, did Maru teach me astrology? It's weird because the first time I met Maru was one of the first house call readings I did, and she actually wanted me to teach her like aspects, which was crazy, because shortly after, she gives me one of the best readings I've ever had for someone who didn't know astrology. So I was
just talking about this. I was talking about it on the daily for Sunsoul TV. I have a subscription-based channel, sunsoul.tv, and I do daily astrology. But I was literally talking about this because I wanted them to teach me aspects, synastry, and also what else was it? The 9th and the 11th house.
Interesting.
Yeah, because everybody kind of has their majigger, their kind of major malfunction of understanding. And I literally, in front of his face, when I read that chart, downloaded all of my past life ability to read charts. I literally looked at it from the perspective of quantum physics, which is what I blend with astrology now. And that all just manifested into like, it blew his mind, it blew my mind. And ever since that day, I haven't stopped. But no, this is the man right here. This is the El Deuterino.
And I'm not going to lie, dark forces got in between us. Like, I went through a period of heavily being skeptical of her and letting some people convince me that she's not trustworthy. But everything that she ended up saying still was true. She kept it genuine. She stayed true. So, hey, time really does tell. And one thing, 9:44 p.m. One thing that I want to introduce right now is the whole concept that, for those who aren't aware, and yes, Khalil, y'all need a reading from Maru. She is legit. I have your YouTube channel, Sun Soul. I just updated it in the description box, so refresh the page. And yeah, the concept of walk-ins. Maru is a walk-in soul. So, as someone who has Pluto that's about to ether the hell out of my soul, and this is what I'm saying, it's nice knowing y'all. Like, it is what it is. Apparently, I met her so that she can assist in my walk-in through that walking process, which I totally believe. So could you explain what your story for those who haven't known, and what it means to be a walk-in, and how common this is or uncommon?
Yeah, it's still not very common. Like the expression isn't. And sometimes people don't even like know that they are, depending on what experience they've had. But it usually happens from a near-death experience, which was my experience. But my physical body at 23 literally kicked the fucking bucket and was in the hospital. It was from salmonella poisoning. So whenever they used a crash cart to bring her back, I stepped in. And so the soul that was originally inhabiting this body left and went on her spiritual journey, and I literally animated this physical form. So my memories go back to 23. And
you don't remember anything before then?
No.
That's wild.
Yeah, in the last like 4 years, I've gotten snippets of things. Before it was just like pictures in a photo album that I could identify certain things, but I didn't have the video that goes along with the picture. There's no memory, no connection. And so it's been an interesting journey because I didn't have connection to family, connection to friends at the time. I had just moved to Seattle from Las Vegas, where we are now. And so I was going to college, and I hadn't made friends, and I hadn't made connections, and I didn't have family there. So it was like starting over, but I absolutely knew what I had just done by stepping into a new body and coming somewhere different.
Yeah.
So it's been a really weird sensation of wearing a different flesh suit and being in a different form. So I'm what they call a full soul transfer. And yes, I will refer to it as my original soul's chart. And then there's my chart because the hospital had the call of death. And that's my birth time. That's my birth date.
The call of that's so symbolic. Because the chart that you originally came from, you were a Cancer sun, Virgo moon on Saturn on the North Node, I believe.
Yep.
And now Maru you are a Scorpio sun and a Pisces moon on the South Node of the other chart. So it's like you literally came through a portal, which is just
exactly. It's batshit because her sun was in the 12th house in Cancer. My moon is in the 12th house in Cancer. Like you said, Virgo moon to Pisces moon. And so for any of you guys out there that are really kind of looking at dark night of the soul or what could cause these sort of effects to happen, Neptune conjuncted Pluto exactly in the chart. So where her Neptune is where my Pluto is now. So It's really intense. Yeah, 18 degrees of Sag. So that's now my Pluto and Sag. But it was like minutes, degrees, and seconds. And Jupiter was on top of her moon. And these are the things that really happen in Scorpio season. So I'm a Scorpio sun, South Node, and Mercury.
Yeah.
In the 8th house, which was her 4th house. So any of you guys who study 4th house transits, that's definitely a big marker of some kick in the bucket style shit.
And Sharon did say that it's going to happen to some twin souls, that it was revealed to her. So true. I really do feel this process needs to be facilitated. Not everyone is has Maru's destiny, where it's a lot more serious. So some people go through partial walk-ins, I believe.
Yes, those are called soul braids.
Soul braids, okay.
Yeah, they're much more interesting because it's essentially there's multidimensional selves, and we are all part of Creator. So as Creator fractals throughout experiences, we're incorporating larger and larger chunks of that. And so yes, it's like a higher dimensional part of ourself. So whenever they integrate, and it can be, I've worked with a lot of walk-ins. And it's usually through some sort of also super psychedelic experience, including...
Someone just said, can a psychedelic spirit trigger this? Just as you said that. That's amazing. And that's the thing about Marie, y'all. From the very first time she read my chart, within the first 3 minutes, she had basically said the thesis statement and the main point of it. And it was specifically something at the depths of my soul I couldn't tell anyone else, because I'm like, no one's going to believe me. And she was just like, yeah, you're this person. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, literally Archangel Michael, he shows up like a mofo whenever you're working with him in any way. And he literally came and like pulled this golden egg out of my third eye and like handed it back to me and told me that my mission was like literally to assist him because the dark forces were out. And yes, the dark forces were out. That's why there was wedges tried to get weaved in between us. But the thing is also I talk about Rh negative blood, and that's the vibe it gives off. People get suspicious because it really has an interesting frequency. And also you're open to so much more that you kind of do have to put like a discernment filter on things.
No, definitely.
Yeah. He's just a unicorn.
And that's crazy too, because I learned that the third decan of Cap, I think you taught me that the third decan of Capricorn is the unicorn. If it wasn't, it was a Mercury, Aquarius Roberts. Shout out to Aquarius Roberts. While he was here, he put me on game. And I was like, wow, just more confirmation. Everything that she told me, that to this day, I've still had some trouble. I've still had some doubt, not with what she said, but just like accepting it, because it's a lot, has been confirmed, like completely. And it's just like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
And Gypsy vibes, no worries. This is the home skillet. Yeah, like some breakfast potatoes with some gravy on it, skillet.
Oh, I got sold. Okay. Word up.
Yeah. She says every time she sees you with another girl, she gets triggered.
Really?
Yeah, you don't want me to play on that one. I have no shame in my game.
Nah, that's what's up. Shout out to Sun God. What's going on with these celebrities? Same shit as usual. Bait, switch, grab your attention, sell and market to you. It is what it is. And that's what is important, because the culture of being celebrity is switching. You're having people blow who aren't backed by labels. They're not backed by the machine. So they can show you, they can be famous and still authentic. And it's a subtle war going on. So that's what I love about this portal. I want you to think of this new moon Pisces as a portal. Oh, the peace bullets work. That's what's up. As a portal and a new cycle. Okay, this new cycle is important for people like us, because I just saw this piece that John Oliver did on his late night show, bashing psychics and talking about how, you know, you're pretty stupid if you pay for a psychic. And given how many frauds there are out there, he wasn't all the way wrong, but it just wasn't fair, because he wasn't talking about authentic psychics. He was talking about frauds. And it's unfair to call frauds psychics, because you can't call a quack a doctor. And you have board exams for doctors. You have board exams for lawyers. We don't have that. So it's like, it makes sense that there's going to be more fraud of psychics until we actually redefine this industry. So some of you are being called on this path. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy to be seen as some fake fortune teller who's just trying to steal people's money. So, you know that you're a part of something truly revolutionary. I can never unbelieve in being a psychic. Even when I was in New Orleans, I got a tarot card reading. Thankfully, the one who read the dude's tarot cards were so worn out, wet, old, like used. Yes, and it was a very accurate reading. It was an older dude. It wasn't like too specific, but I heard everything that I needed to know, and it wasn't vague. He wasn't cold reading me. Like, he did say some things that I was going through. For example, he mentioned that I did feel like I wanted to move a lot. And I was conflicted on, should I move to Cali or stay here? And he was like, stay where you are. You're building connections. You're going to be collabing with people. And I had just made a plan to collab with, the person I did that peace talk with very recently, Rachel Stewart. Shout out to Rachel. Spend smart, live happy. Totally want to introduce y'all to too. She's really awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of great stuff in the works, but I do want y'all to know this is a whole new game. This is a whole new portal, y'all. Like, where it's time for us to manifest our superpowers. Uranus is in Taurus, so it's gonna be so awesome, so awesome.
It really is. Somebody had asked a few minutes ago, how do you know if you're walking? And it's one of those things that you really are pretty aware of, because It definitely, like in a full soul transfer, you're very aware because you don't remember shit but a whole nother life. Like waking up within a dream maybe is a great way to explain it. But those who have had like the soul braids, they change completely. Everybody changes completely. So what you are doing career wise changes immediately. You could be married. A lot of people walked away straight from marriage and children and the whole 9 yards because that's not them anymore and they're not connected to that.
Happy birthday, Loving Soul 61. In fact, here's an extreme example of this. There's this like 57-year-old who decided that they were now a 7-year-old girl. And his dreams came true because he got adopted by someone.
What?
Yeah.
That's so intense.
He left his wife and 2 daughters.
And got adopted?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if he can make his dreams come true, leave his family and become a 7-year-old girl, you have no excuse. Okay.
Right.
Absolutely no excuse at
Seriously.
all.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you sense a major shift, and it's a different kind of shift than normal. And also, you're somebody different completely. So, depending, but he may or may not be the peace dealer tomorrow.
I've been feeling like different. Like I'm here, but I'm not here. Like I'm only here through a project. Weird. In fact, the fact that you're bringing this up is making sense because it's like I really may not be the peace dealer tomorrow. It was nice knowing y'all. Thank you so much.
I know. It's okay. I'll be here for you the next year.
Thank you. Thank you. My Chinese zodiac is the horse, so I'm really Oh, yes.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but really, yeah, Mike, have you ever tried DMT?
So funny that you ask. We kind of have it. Right now. It's going down.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, but we did do it.
We did it a bit 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah.
I broke through.
She broke through. It was dope.
Yeah, 3. But shit, some of the people we were with did literally like 30, 40 plus and didn't feel shit.
They were both Scorpios and they were both together. That was wild. They literally took hit after hit. Nope. Nope.
Hundreds of dollars worth of hit. And just bye-bye.
I don't get that. But yeah. Shout out to Justin Vizakis. We're going to have a peace talk soon. I'm going to do a video about the combo experience that I had. I was going to do it before and after, but I forgot. I just didn't do it. It would have been so good. But yeah, he broke through too. He was the first one to do it. So that was awesome. Or the second one?
That's a good question. Starhawk. My family, that's my Earth family here. I haven't had the exact association that I should. But yes, they're part of my life. Both mother and father are already transitioned into the other lives, and my sister and my brother are around, and they understand this fact about me because I was not me. Like I am not me. So they definitely understand and realize that who they knew as their sister has left the building officially, and that I'm here. But I never tried to sugarcoat it, and I never tried to ease them into it. So it just depends on how each person kind of wants to handle it. But I think that like a full soul transfer isn't trying. There's no social cultural conditioning and other stuff that comes with the person to hold a person back.
True that.
If that makes sense.
And if anything, this has really made me feel that I've been underestimating Pluto on the South Node.
Yeah. We've been talking.
Yeah.
More walk-ins coming soon.
More walk-ins. Yeah, I think there's going to be a mass revival walk-ins. And I really feel Saturn, Pluto, South Node is just like the end of an old era. It's literally like the chains breaking and the gate is open. You just have to walk through that prison that has been built around you within this control system, that you've been taught that you're not allowed to do certain things. You've been taught that certain things are wrong, even though nothing is black and white. You have people who, who is this alien? You have people who freaking like have never met you. They just go off of hearsay, and they're manipulated to be weapons to ostracize others socially. So it's something that we're finally gonna break through in a powerful way. And I'm excited, but I'm also kind of antsy because this isn't gonna. I don't think this is gonna happen without a fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, we've been fighting for a long time. I'm interested to see what happens after Jupiter goes direct and moves through the galactic center, because that's definitely going to bring in a whole new wave of consciousness, beliefs, philosophies, and it's going to change the paradigm big time. I mean, that's definitely not happening until like next year.
Yeah.
But from now until then, and Pluto on the South Node is ending all that shit that came before us, like he was saying, but it's ending inside of each of us. So whatever's been holding you back or making you self-judge from the filter of what's been normal up until now, like recognize that that's no longer a unit of measure anymore. And like tonight is that marking of the event in which it just disintegrates. It just dissolves. Like Pisces is water. It's water dissoluble. Water dissolvable. Is that the word?
I think it's dissolvable or soluble.
Water soluble. I hate it when that happens. Like words that are like totally normal all of a sudden sound like something fucking foreign.
Mars is exactly on my Venus. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that means something.
That's hilarious.
Venus is close to my North Node. Word.
Are we gonna step into the Peace Mobile?
Yes. Let's do so. Right now.
That one.
This one? All right.
Yeah.
Bam. Share. Oh, this is very convenient. So as you can see, the moon is 22. Neptune and the sun 16 equals 7. So based on that step astrology, it's probably the most intuitive energy we've had in a while. Jupiter semi-sextiling Pluto. So, that's it. The moon is squaring Jupiter right now. That's what it is. And sextiling Pluto. So
legit. 0, 29, and 16 are critical Antarctic degrees. And so we have all of that energy at all of those because Uranus, Chiron, 0 degrees, Mercury retrograde.
That's true.
29. Yeah, and the sun, Neptune at 16. So whenever those critical degrees kick in, it's almost like do or die, right? But the most interesting part about all of this is how much is reflective upon situations that we've already been through. And on Sunsoul TV, I used him as an example for your stalker story, because that is so like Neptune and Sun. And when you have these connections with people, say like everything is sparking your thoughts to go back to ex-partnerships or whatever. And South Node Pluto shit, especially everyone seems to have some mad placements right there where that transit is happening. And think about it, if it's on your DC, like if 22 Cap is your DC right now, you may be stalkerish and or being stalked heavily. So it's just kind of like a PSA. If anybody's in that situation and in kind of like an abusive relationship, get the fuck out, like run for the hills, because it's like the perfect person showing up and like catering to your every whim. Meanwhile, your boyfriend's locked in the basement because they've put them in there and now they're going to murder them and your best friend. But it's for real. There's a show on Netflix. It's an original. It's called You. And I was like, oh my God, that is so this transit. It's crazy because we get struck with a case of the Neptunian feels that is just all over the place. It doesn't know what's real and what's not.
It doesn't even want to know what's real. It's just trying to be unreal. It's like, and that be the new real, if anything. But
new real. Honestly, though, but it's like the intensity is so much that how could the other person not feel it? Like what would actually drive a person? Especially after they made a video called Stalkers, my stalker story. Did you give anybody an update?
Did anything update since then?
Yeah, she had the baby.
Text. Oh, yes. So she's no longer spiritually pregnant. I am now a father of spiritual children. And I ain't taking care of them kids. I need to make sure those are mine.
Child support too.
I need to make sure those are mine. God damn it! First and foremost, we need to go to Maury. Actually, I legitimately typed in a form to Dr. Phil sharing this story, and hopefully.
You really did?
I really did. I
said
this.
Shit, that's some Sun Neptune shit right there.
So hopefully I can take this to Dr. Phil and trick her to coming on the show, and she'll willingly come on though, just so she can tell. Oh, it would be great TV. I'll say that. It would be very great TV.
That just shocked the shit out of me, because that's like literally it. Imagine that you're watching TV in the daytime and Dr. Phil comes on and it's like, wait a minute, wait. Like, is that the peace dealer? What the fuck?
I just have my dejected face like, yeah, I've been getting stalked spiritually for a while.
Yo, says the stalker.
Mm.
What's up, Julie? I see you, girl.
Where at?
Right there.
Oh, laughter truly is the best medicine. Yeah. You know what's even crazy? Somebody else who like stalked me. I'm too nice though. Like, she didn't stalk me, but she's made it clear, like, I know you don't want me to email you paragraphs, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm just so in love with you and I think you're awesome. And it's not as crazy as it used to be. Like, I don't know why I enable these characters, but we kind of cool now. She sends me article. She was telling me, "Oh my gosh, do you need a prayer? Like, this is crazy what you're going through." And I'm like, never mind. It's a Neptunian thing because they're kind of veiled. Like, I don't think they realize the effects of what they're doing or care. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, if I get stalked for hooking up and being here tonight, just doing a peace exchange, I'm gonna be pissed.
If she finds out where you live, I'm gonna be pissed. That'll be crazy.
Yeah, crazy. She actually kind of did the same thing to me, but I'm not him, so I couldn't get her spiritually pregnant, obviously. But we had just talked about the situation like a week before, so it's like, be careful what you say. Ghosts, when you talk about them, they come. So not ironic timing, but funny just the same.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
Definitely.
Scorpio does stalk. That's why it's like learning how to use that properly and understanding why Pluto and Saturn in the South Node are such a big deal right now. Because Saturn is watching. Saturn's like monitoring the situation so that it doesn't get completely blown out of proportion. Because Saturn really wants us to use our wisdom, okay? So if you've been, if you have a restraining order against you for stalking, Saturn's like, motherfucker,
karma.
You already know what's up. So, like, don't come within, 2,000 yards or whatever.
And I'm glad you brought up Saturn, because Saturn is definitely like testing everybody, just giving people marks like, oh, this is what you did in that situation. Okay, this is what you did. Cardinal sign, right? Okay, you're doing okay. And right at the end of the transit, you get your progress report. You can't complain. So make sure you live your best life and you do your greatest. There's no excuses right now.
There's no excuses. And that's part of the hard part about controlling the Neptune vibe, is because it's really like in the inner world. And like Saturn even talks about the inner world. Next month, it's going retrograde, Saturn.
Yeah.
And so whenever Saturn is retrograde, you have to really watch what's going on inside your imagination and your mind. Yeah. Like you can't actually mentally stalk people at that point.
I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of that.
Everybody's
been guilty of that. Shout out to John, who said Saturn controls the speed of light. If you can control time, you can control the time at which it travels. So that makes sense how Capricorn is after Sagittarius, the light then. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm born of Uranus,
so we can say
definitely outside of time.
Born of Uranus. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Yeah, the lineage has gone on.
Ah, nice. So we can say Sagittarius is light. Capricorn represents time, or Saturn, and then Aquarius represents space. So who would Pisces represent? The nothingness, or?
It's kind of, but it's the nebulous dream. Like if you really think about it, it's literal surrender of everything that's physical that you're not taking with you. It's the sojourn. So if we're talking about like the scales of balance and the Isis, Osiris, Ma'at, that's where you witness through this projection, because Pisces is also like that. The projector's projecting the vision, but it's moving through the ether to hit the screen. So whenever we transcend out of the body, we're looking at our life review, and that's judged through our own awareness. And of course, Osiris will put the motherfucking smackdown on where you're headed to the next incarnation, if you're going back bound through Earth or if you're going onto another sojourn elsewhere.
True that.
Yeah, it's deep. But like Aquarius is antimatter. The byproduct of this is so deep. The byproduct of antimatter is matter. So the byproduct of Uranus is Saturn. So it's like shit, but when you say it in a different way, the light bulb just goes ding, ding, ding.
That makes sense, because the opposite of that is Leo, and it produces reality in Virgo.
Yeah, it's always
antimatter. That's amazing.
Right? Well, everything in the universe is antimatter because we account for like 0.3%. Everything in the known universe that we can see that's physical, in reference to how much matter versus antimatter there is.
So the only 0.3 that we know.
Yeah, with all the stars, galaxies, universes, everything.
That's wild.
Everything. It's so fucking wild. But think about this. Like, yes, 5th house is Leo, ruled by the sun, opposite of Uranus and Aquarius. So the sun is always opposed by Uranus, naturally. And if you think about that, you're always being provoked.
So exotic matter now.
Exotic matter, yeah. You're always being provoked to evolve, to take a quantum leap, to take some sort of risk into the space of unknownness, because the unknown is where everything literally does exist.
Nice.
This is a figment of our imagination.
That's wild. Yeah.
It really is.
It's like we have to imagine it goes back to quantum physics. It's like we have to perceive this in order for it to be real, or for us to exist.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. Yeah. I came up with something called the PGF, the perception generating filter. And it's like the interpretation of Mercury in its higher octave Uranus, right? But we are perceiving through our filters, our environment, collapsing those waves and creating this situation. But we can always adjust how we perceive, because that's literally all we are. If we understand quantum physics too, we can't really, but if we do, we're doing nothing but collapsing waves.
Wow. And turning them into particles.
Yeah, wow. Exactly. So what's crazy is like whatever's behind you doesn't actually exist. In this rare case of instance, it does, because I can see it right here.
Because we have eyes behind, so we're seeing it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So we're creating this would be like the first dimension, the second dimension, but everything in between is our third dimension. And time actually equals the fourth. So we were born into a fourth dimensional experience without any fucking awareness of it. Because this is something that Einstein discovered back in his day. This isn't new information. Yeah. Like when we look at everything that Tesla was doing, that's everything in reference to Aquarius and the whole 11th house. Did you know he was actually Cancer?
Tesla?
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, I didn't know that. I forgot. Tesla was a Cancer sun. That's amazing.
Yeah. Blew my mind.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Cancer, water signs that are intellectual are like super woke and super genius.
I think he was a 3rd house sun too.
That's interesting. I could believe that as well.
Yeah. It was extra cray.
And, shout out to the fallen angels who fell down to the second heaven and have pimped humanity by getting them to worship deities and false gods to give their energy. We're ending those contracts, guys. You don't have to follow the way of your ancestors. I learned that firsthand. I won't say I learned it from experience, but shout out to the Leo King. He definitely helped remind me of that when it counted. Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of people really hold true to that because we're changing things. Those that come from like, Pluto in Virgo generation, there are some Pluto in Leo, but it moves up through those Pluto generations like Dolores Cannon and the stages of souls that have come here on mostly a volunteer mission. They're not the regular earthbound old souls that you're used to hearing about.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're more of like what we call galactics and star seeds. And we're here to hit this shit and quit it. Like we're on to the next,
Yeah.
So whenever we do get wrapped up into the reincarnation wheel, it is because of the fall cities, right? And like say Neptune, whenever Neptune is retrograde, its whole purpose is to dissolve religious and also spiritual shams.
Yeah.
Those things that are not true, but have been painted as truth that create like this devout following.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like why that freaking square with Jupiter is so crazy, is because that's a direct challenge for us to evolve past our current set of beliefs and philosophies and take our full control to walk towards our destiny, no matter how crazy and out there it sounds, because everything to do with Pisces sounds fucking crazy.
Oh, yes.
You
If you do it right, Pisces should make no sense conventionally, but at the same time, mutably make all the sense in the world in existence. So I do agree with that. Someone asked, what about Pluto Libra? Well, some of you are angels and beings like Maru from the third heaven or higher. And I say this conceptually. And it's like, we're here to do war with these fallen angels and beings who have to go through purification. So Pluto Libra represents that fallen angel state. Because if you think about it, what rules Libra? Venus, the morning star. We know who the morning star is. Where's the sun in its fall? Libra, which represents the second heaven of the three stages of air, the heavens. So channeling that blew my mind. I feel like Pluto Libra is the open door into now transforming and kind of remedying all this so that the rest of the Pluto generations, like every Pluto Libra has to balance everything the other Pluto gens did, but then also pave the way for the rest. So it's one of the most difficult ones, especially now that it's squaring in Capricorn.
Somebody must have just jumped in. I'm Aruma too from Sun Soul Astrology, not his girlfriend.
I see some of y'all poking jabs.
That's funny. Still love you though.
Yes,
he is my soulmate. Yeah. He is a soulmate from a whole nother soul. Truth be told.
Oh yes.
But you know what about the Pluto and Libra generation, especially if you have contacts within 2 degrees to Arcturus, then you're some magical ass mofo and ascended master type vibration. But Pluto and Libra generation are here to knock this stupid relationship shit off. End of story. Whoa. I just had like a DMT flashback. Your face just changed. I swear. That was crazy.
And when you said that, I gotta like, when you said to knock this stupid relationship off, I didn't feel, but I felt like a shift.
That was weird. Your face morphed like a mofo.
Oh, wow.
I have to, now that I've mentioned it, I have to tell. He was like my super guide through this DMT world. And I don't know if he was really there in like real life, but he was there in my DMT world of like this magical guide. But every time I looked at his face, he had one side that was totally like android, and his eyeball was like beep, 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 beep. And then this side of his face was like tribal AF, and he had these like really cool, it was like Sumerian tablet language, if you've seen Sumerian, and it's normally well, it goes up and down, and it was pointing towards the side, and there was these little blue flicks of light that was flying off of it, and almost like he had this like head wrap on one side, but this side was totally fucking android. And maybe you are a clone. It's possible. Have you ever cried real tears?
Okay, I can't believe you asked that, because I don't think I've ever cried real tears in my life. Every time I've cried, it's either been kind of forced, like I felt like I had to, and it was never really natural.
Damn.
Yeah, really. Like I've never. In fact, now I'm making sense of some thoughts I remarked. Oh, I just got mine tucked. But it's something to the whole degree of like I've never really had like deep core experiences where I feel that deeply. It just kind of feels like I'm here. Like, that's about it. But yeah, it's so Cat Moonish. Like it is what it is. Oh yes, yes, yes. I did cry real tears once on that live when I was kind of opening up and see, I don't even like to remember that because I was vulnerable. So it's just like, you see how I tried to just like sweep that under the rug like it didn't happen. But even still, like it wasn't like a deep cry, just some tears that fell out. I just kind of like
the legit.
Okay. Shout out to the Vibe Tribe. Y'all really got my back. I love y'all forever.
I don't know if you were acting, but I think I came in on a live one time when you were crying about having too much sex.
That was all acting. And some of you believed that. Some of you believed that. One time I cried when I used to stay here and like, yeah, some of y'all really thought I was crying. And I'm glad I'm that good an actor.
Right?
But yeah, am I a clone? Like,
yeah, Tiki Love agrees.
There's a part of me that feels like I was really just here to like make it up to my Saturn return, and then I can return to the angel realm and be like, so what, take over? Well, not just anybody.
Yeah. There's some powerful stuff.
Has any mutable signs or Geminis started to feel a deeper polarity of like, because what I've started to notice is I'm having full-on conversations with myself. Like there's one character forming and then another character, and to me it's like my way of just personalizing and archetypalizing different sides of myself. But now I'm thinking maybe it really is like a totally different person. Like I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Geminis are going through this too, where it's always used to be there, but it's like stronger. It's like another that other side of you coming a lot more.
You should ask your neighbors, because when he used to live here, like he would play.
Yeah.
You know, like he go running through the halls, and like I swear to God, I could hear fucking footsteps chasing his ass. Like I could hear little laughters. Like he had a whole fucking crew. Like all of a sudden there'd be knocks on my wall. But like, how is there knocks on my wall when my room is upstairs and he was downstairs? Like my room would be over the garage, right? And then his room would be like over there on that side. Like that's not even physically possible.
No, I would have like, in fact, it's crazy because I haven't noticed it ever since I left, but
you don't have anybody telling you fucking.
Well, you're that. And like, I would just have full on, it would really feel like I'm connecting with other beings and like have full on conversations. And like, it would be really fun. Like there are other people there. I'm not schizophrenic though, I promise. I'm just a little crazy, but it's all good. I embrace my crazy.
Oh yeah. Now that's what it's really about. Because if you think about it, like mutability and Mercury retrograde, like just for a minute here, Mercury naturally squares Mercury in the chart. Naturally, it's Virgo and Gemini, right? They naturally square. Mercury always opposes Neptune and always opposes Jupiter. So if you think about it from that perspective, we're always challenged by our own minds to like discern truth and to rise into a higher set of philosophies and beliefs and a higher set of knowledge. So it's crazy because Mercury always squares Jupiter and always squares Neptune. Like, what the fuck is that? Have you ever broke that down like that?
Mercury always in the transits, right?
No, like in the natural form of the chart.
Oh, yeah, Mercury.
Gemini always squares Virgo.
Yeah.
Virgo squares Sagittarius, Jupiter. Sagittarius squares Pisces, Neptune. Neptune squares Mercury, Gemini. And they always oppose.
Yeah. Which is the lower mind, higher mind dynamic, like, one for well, yeah, I guess this helps so that our perception doesn't go all over the place, and even though it does in some cases, but it's like, no, that's a really good question.
It's like our mind is always going to be the trickster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mercury is thought. And bless up to Celie Klein in the chat, my goddess. Yes, that came out. Look at you, girl. making me say things I ain't said before that should have been said.
That felt very authentic too.
It did. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's crazy because Mercury is Thoth. Thoth is the creator of all knowledge, astrology, astronomy, all that stuff. But you have to really have this discernment of information, and you have to be of an initiate. You have to be of pure frequency. So you have to Neptune dissolve all of your convoluted thoughts, right? And take this like profound journey. If Jupiter is the guru who knows how to go into long bouts of solitude, like think about the guru archetype. It's really on a mountaintop. It's really meditating. It's really sacrificing the typical human incarnation. It's not Netflix and chilling. It's not at the bar drinking. It's purifying so that it is really understanding what it feels like to be a self-generated frequency without this like infiltration of other people's vibrations, because Neptune is the collective unconscious, right? So through that feedback loop, we're lifting it up to the Jupiterian vibration through Sagittarius, where we realize that we are from the stars, a part of the stars.
Yeah.
And then don't count on Gemini to interpret that. Just kidding.
We'll confuse you on purpose. Honestly, I started to realize that it's like when you want to find the details, it's like sometimes spirit will just confuse you more, just so you can let go of the need to like pinpoint.
Yeah.
Just so you can stop being arrogant and think that you can never know something, which is hard because like the whole concept, I want to know it. I want to actually know. So this is making infinite multi-dimensional sense. Shout out to Miss Kiki. That's what's up.
Yeah, that is what's up. I'm going to light some Palo Santo.
And let us now get into the ceremony portion of this. Normally we do a procedure, but this is all about being intentful. This is all about really tapping into yourself. I'm going to let Maru lead this ceremony. And yeah, you guys just breathe down your diaphragm like always. Breathe out gratitude. And feel the vibes. You know the vibes. Feel them.
Yeah, shout out to the $1 Million Vibe Tribe, as well as the Sun Soul Tribe and the Pick My Matrix Revolution. Because you know we got to pimp the fuck out this matrix. We don't want no hoopty mobiles around here.
No hoopty mobiles.
No hoopty matrices with some cosmic bullet holes running through our windows. Actually.
Oh, I hate to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But to add on to what Maru was saying about how, you know, she can enter your subconscious, don't get so stuck on the realm of words. So and this is something that as a Gemini, I've been learning to surrender to, because like you can get so stuck on what we're telling you. And there's a whole nother reality where the true purpose of what we're doing is to connect energetically. So these words are just a vehicle. You can get stuck on the concepts to grasp, but none of that matters. Like we could have just said nothing this whole talk and just connected energetically without to control it. And that's what's really supposed to happen. So this is why talking is entertaining. It adds some value so that it's fun, but it's something you want to think of moving forward. Don't get too caught up on the surface level of what's going on. Like how do you feel? What are the energetics? Even though feelings are not the most traditionally rational. Words trap ideas, like Riza said.
Yeah. Yeah, Neptune is that collective unconscious. Not me. But it's like if you've ever checked out Nassim Harameem and his connected universe theory, it's you know, moving past where Einstein was in the theory of everything. And it bridges into we're all connected through each proton, each vibration in this universe is of the same frequency. So you affect one proton, you affect the other. And on the unconscious level, we're all linked. Mm-hmm. So how we're feeling vibratory wise is manifesting into that field of information. Mm-hmm. And so we're either like a disease that's carrying negative genes, or we're really on that positive side and we're helping to heal the collective. Because the unconscious is what we're not experiencing in the waking mind. Like Gemini is the conscious mind. Pisces is the unconscious. So sleep realm, where you're in between sleep and awake also. So it's a whole different place. And that's a place of major transformation whenever we can reprogram that subconscious. But that comes from a lot of other work. So to do this ceremony, I actually want to utilize the abundance of Uranus at 0 degrees of Taurus, which is in the Andromeda galaxy. So this is going to benefit all of the Andromeda star seeds, but as well kind of show how to use this energetic, because in the constellation of Andromeda, okay, is actually the galaxy of Andromeda that is outside of the Milky Way. And if you really conceptualize that, we have a constellation and we have multiples of these. Cygnus is also one of them that houses fucking galaxies that we interpret as being outside of the Milky Way. How is that fucking possible? Legit disclosure right there, mic drop. Honestly. So where Cygnus was just transited through all the Piscean at the beginning, yeah, there's nebulas, there's multiple confirmed planets. There's Cygnus X1, which is a black hole, the first black hole we discovered that proved we have fucking black holes.
They found out another moon was orbiting Neptune as well. So now it has like 15, I think.
Yeah, and we live in a binary star system, so shout out to Sealy. You know what I mean?
It's not just this star. There's like another star.
Yeah, Sirius is a fucking star. It's like our other star. It's why it's called our central sun. And that light bulb doesn't go like central sun, bing, bing, bing.
So this sun that we see isn't our central sun.
No.
It's Sirius.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it was the other way around. Good to know.
Well, yeah, optically. But
timeline shift. Nice.
It's like, it's our location, you know? So we're over here where our sun is most visible and prominent to us, but Sirius is in a whole nother location. It's located in the constellation of Canis Major, which is where the North Node is transiting at the moment. So, yes. So as he said, breathe into your diaphragm. And how do you say it? Breathe out.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Yes, and if you will, if you can close your eyes and imagine a state of quantum fluctuation and see this iridescent white light surrounding you. And as you walk into this iridescent white light, you step forth, but as you step forth, your legs disappear and your torso disappears, and you just go into this energetic form. And before you know it, you are traveling through a wormhole with stars blasting by beyond light speed, moving through to the Andromeda galaxy. And as you move into this galaxy, you can actually turn around and look and see that there is a Stargate portal that is opened. And as you see it, it is both physical and invisible at the same time. It's almost like a magnifying glass that zooms in so far that everything blurs and it's pixelated to where nothing is seen. And as you radiate here, you step forth with a non-physical physicality. This is how multidimensional beings experience themselves, through an awareness point of all avatar bodies and no avatar bodies at the same time. There is both light and both dark that merge into no separation. And as you connect here, it is but a thought and but a moment that will only last for this moment. You can both return to here and leave here simultaneously, while never even of setting off on this journey. Because to experience yourself outside of a place that has no conception, because it's truly inside, that's the realization of the entire Andromeda frequency is that it never existed outside of anything, because nothing has ever been anything. And you are that nothing that exists in this one moment, the only moment that has ever existed, which is universal now. And you are that now. So for those of you who want to remain there, you are welcome to. For the rest of you, you are welcome to return and open your eyes, continuing to breathe into your diaphragm and breathe out gratitude. You look like you really went there. I felt you go there, actually.
Guys, there was a part of me that was like blocked and I couldn't see it, but I still felt like it was happening. And I just had to like not try and, because I don't have any Pisces, so I don't visualize as well, or Sag, but I could still believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that discussion. It's an alpha brainwaves. Dan Winters talked about it because we were hiking at Red Rock one time and I was like, when you close your eyes, do you see like more light? And he's like, no, man, I see black. I was like, wow, that's intense. So he thinks it's like Pisces and stuff. Dan Winters actually showed that it's an alpha brainwave state. And whenever somebody is resonating in alpha more, which is like going into meditation, so outside of, the linear mind.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you start to see, okay, that makes so much sense. All right.
Mm-hmm. So if you played some alpha brainwaves.
And just surrendered and didn't try and like control what I'm seeing. I got you.
Yes. Yeah, so it's so good to see everybody here, especially a lot of the Sun Soul tribe is showing up.
Yo.
Yeah.
You already know what it is, y'all. Already. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Truly.
We're gonna do the next part of this ritual and get a little bit psychedelic. So have fun. I know. I'm not gonna say try. We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. Yeah, you definitely flew across the country today. You're hanging in there like a champ.
Yeah, I feel like I absorbed so many vibes. Like Bourbon Street is like a sea of people, and it's like your shoulder length with everyone. You can't walk without bumping into someone. So it's like,
and the titties.
Yeah, and the titties. The titties.
Yeah, Bourbon Street after a certain time of night is like go home quick.
Ooh.
Were you out too late? Because, man, once it's like past like 1:32, it's like legit. Like you could feel the vampires. Like you could feel like.
That makes sense because one thing I took away from it is I'm too much of an old soul. Like I enjoyed Mardi Gras because it was cold the other days, but that day I think everyone's intentions manifested. Like it was fun and whatnot. But the thing I took away from it is I'm too much of an old soul to be partying. Like I'd still rather just be home chilling. Like I once it's a certain hour, I'm just not trying to be out. I'm not trying to holler at, you know what I'm saying? Try and pull people. Somebody was like, "Did you have sex with anyone?" I'm like, honestly, I'm trying to like get someone pregnant now. I never thought I would say like I'm trying to settle down and all that. Don't say that I'm maturing.
That's crazy.
It's crazy indeed. Like let me rephrase that because that sounded weird. I'm not trying to get someone pregnant, but I'm not trying to just have like premarital like no strings attached. Well, I didn't say that, but like one night stand sex. It's weird, and I think it's Saturn and Pluto and the moon. I feel like an old head now. Where it's just like after a certain time, I start to feel tired, and I just want to go home early. But it is what it is. Yeah, I did get those vibes. Like after 1:30, I think it was different this year, but that makes sense as to what I was feeling. Like I was only out because wanted to stay in the spirit, but
yeah, and in the spirit is where you are. Yeah, for any of you who asked, he did put Sun Soul Astrology in the description box below earlier, so it is there. But Sun Soul Astrology on YouTube.
Hit her up.
Yeah, I'm there.
Get a reading from her, please. It will change your life. I'm talking about within the first 5 minutes, if not 33 minutes. Yeah, Shannon, it is the hermit in me. It is what it is, though. I definitely feel like I'm stepping into really developing more friendships and partnerships, and I'm so excited about that. I'm very so excited about that. Shout out to Aurora, who always starts her cycle on the new moon. That's awesome.
That is, you're aligned. You know, you're aligned with the decisions and the place that you're in your life right now.
Yeah.
And also your fertile myrtle.
Fertile myrtle! That's funny.
It's true. And shout out to Amber Bates. Thank you for coming in.
Word. Well, on that note, we're going to close. I would say hold on to an intention. What's one wish that you want to make true, not to come true out of thin air? What do you want to step into this cycle? For me, I'm too capital ambitious. I want to be my greatest self. I want to operate and break through like never before. And that requires accepting how I am right now and not waiting to be some perfect version of myself. So, I'm an ebb and flow with it, but hold on to that intent with whatever you do and prepare to be surprised. Miracles do exist. I think what's going to frighten some of you is that the miracles are going to occur and a lot of you are going to get what you want. And some of you are so used to not that you almost feel comfortable sabotaging. So not going to happen this time. So stay tuned. If you're in the California area, come out to Huntington Beach. Come see me and the Leo King. It's going to be lit.
Right.
It's going to be lit.
Lit. Litty lit.
High Vibe TV coming soon. All right. And anything else you want to close off with?
Just keep on ba-dumping down the damn road with your badass selves. Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate all of you, and I'm so grateful. And sending lots of love and blessings. God bless to all of the $1 Million Vibe tribe. Peace, dealer.
Peace out, y'all. You already know what it do.